Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and I have a project to share with you today that features the Pampered Pet Stamp Set again. So this project is actually a really fun project, a card that moves. So it mails flat like this, and then when the recipient gets the card, they can pop it open and it sits like this. So when I was looking through the catalog and looking for cards or stamp sets that would be perfect for this, the Pampered Pets suite, of course, it just jumps off the page because the dogs are cute, and moving dogs, I mean, balloons, it's perfect, right? So I am going to give you some directions for this. If you want to get the printable tutorials for this, they are available free for anyone who places an order in my store for Stampin' Up! Supplies during the month of July. So go ahead and place your order and you'll get those from me by email. And they include the cutting directions and all those things. If you don't have them, that's okay. You can watch the video too, and I'll give you enough information to make the cards. All right, ready to get stamping? Let us switch our view here and we'll get started. So I have my strips here pre-cut, but they are 8.5 inches wide. And they are, let's see, 3.5 for this one that's going to be the top of our cube. These are each 1 1 3/4 inch. Just want to make sure I told you the right thing. And what you're going to do with these is you're going to score them as I show you. And you know what? I'm going to use my tray here, my Simply Scored tray. You could use your trimmer too. This one I kind of like just because it can show you all of the sizes at the same time. And I can also score all 3 pieces at the same time. You could, if you're making this card at home or a different version of it, you could also choose not to cut your strips. You could just put this whole paper on and go ahead and score. But we are going to score all of these pieces at 1 3/4 inches, at 3.5 inches, at 5 1/4 inches, and at 7 inches, okay? So basically we have 4 panels and a 5th one that's gonna give us our place to put our adhesive. So go ahead and set that aside. And for this part, to assemble, I'm pretty particular about how I do these assemblies, because it's one thing to go ahead and like try and stick these together in the air, but then I find that they get crooked, they don't fold flat, it's just not a good plan. So the easiest way to do this is go ahead and fold one flap back for each of these. Okay, this is the short flap here at the end that's going to be our adhesive point. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over like so. Okay, so I'm going to put the adhesive on this side of each of these panels. Okay, and this part's really simple. You're just going to fold this right on the score line and you're going to fold it flat. Okay, see how that works? So that then when I pop it up, I know that it's exactly where I need it to be. Okay, it's square, it's straight, and we don't have any problem. Oh, and I'm missing some adhesive here. There we go. All right, one more bit. Okay, so there we have our pieces. Now, ready to start putting these pieces together and kind of lay it out so that you kind of have an idea where you're going. And then remember to hide your glue parts in the back. So these are where my adhesive is going to go, and then they're going to line up right against my card base, like the base tower here. So I get some extra adhesive on there. And I am using the Stampin' Seal Plus because it's just a little bit stronger than Seal, and we want this to stay. So you could try and do it at the same time, but I'm not going to get too fancy. All right, now I like to do this assembly when the pieces are flat on the ground. I know it might be a little trickier to see. Here's what we're doing though, because then I know that they're going to work. And then to close our card for mailing, we're going to fold it flat like this, okay? So see how that works? Really pretty slick. All kinds of different ideas for this. Pop-up flowers, all fun things. So let's bring our pieces back here. So I have these little layers here that are cut. They are 1.5 inches, and so each one is going to fit onto the card. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop a coordinating diagonal piece of adhesive across each one, and I'll start in the middle and go ahead and snag these on here. All right. So we're going to get these 6 panels all set. And you could mix and match these. You could do different patterns, kind of whatever. And remember that for the pages of dog paper that are included in this suite, there are the same number, equal opportunity, pieces of cat paper included. So if you're making cat cards, know you could switch these up for the cat patterns. All right, so now we have our decorated pieces here, and we're gonna go ahead and get the pieces that we want to mount. So I'm gonna grab my Flirty Flamingo, which is it's a subtle complement to this stamp set, or to the designer series paper. The paper features real red, so that would be a great thing to include in your supplies if you're going to stamp a lot with this suite. But I also like it with Flirty Flamingo, which is featured kind of like in our little dog here. You can kind of see the little ears are done in Flirty Flamingo. So I have 2 of the die cut dogs from this paper, and here are the dog sheets. So here's a 12 by 12 piece that I cut to take. These dogs, these little guys here, these gray guys, they are, I should look up the dog breeds, right? My daughter would be so helpful here. So they are matching the dies that go with this stamp set. So you can use the cutting dies to go ahead and cut those out exactly. If you're using the other dogs, those you'll have to fussy cut, but they're really quick cuts, so not to worry. All right, so we have our greeting here. We have a strip of Whisper White cardstock here, and I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside because we're going to do our dogs first. Now, the directions for this actually say I have written them to be 1/2 inch by 2 inches, which works great for some of the dogs. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and fold it in half, and I'm going to pop some more seal on there. Now, I want this dog to not overlap the bottom of this, okay? So he is going to sit right here on our card. So he's going to flap right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'll just go ahead and put him on our card. He can be first. All right, so I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. I'm going to make sure that our dog will pop up properly when we open the card. You can't have this run beyond the fold there, or you will make it so that when this card is open, he doesn't stand up, okay? Does that make sense? You have to be able to still fold that there. So this is a really simple way to add him. You could make this piece of cardstock a box like we did for the other boxes. That would just be making it 4 times plus a flap and mounting it. But I've found that these work fine. So, all right, now this guy, I can't really do the same. I want there to be plenty of space for the adhesive to grab though. So I made his piece wider. It's all like special for the dachshunds, right? I have so many dachshund friends, dash hounds, depending where in the world you're located. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the dachshund there and go ahead and add the adhesive. Now with Stampin' Seal, I'll show you this. Can you see how there's actually a little bit that went over? It kind of connects itself in little tiny rectangles. So you want to make sure that if you need to, you go ahead and pop that to the back. So now I want him to face a little bit, so I'm not going to make him square. I'm going to make him, here we go. I know you can't see it the other way. I'm going to make him a little bit sideways. See how that's angled? Okay. So that gives us our fun dogs. Let's see. I can't really set there. I can. And I'm going to use kind of the same trick here on our greeting. Now this is a little bit too long. It can't be more than beyond half of our greeting. So what I want to do is I'm going to put Stampin' Seal on this again. And the same trick that I used with the dogs, I'm going to use with our greetings. And you know what? I think it's easier to just go ahead and pop this here. I want this to meet up, the fold to meet up right here. And then you can see kind of where you're going to put your greeting. Okay. Now, if you want to, you could actually do 2 of these. You could do 1 on each side. So it just depends whether you want to do kind of the quick version or the super constructed version. So we're gonna do kind of the quick version. So I've got this. I'm just going to close my card and layer that down, and now our greeting pops up. See how simple that is? So really not a difficult thing to do. Now I feel like this could use just a little bit more decoration. So I'm going to bring in my balloon punch, my balloon duo, and go ahead and add a couple of punched balloons to our card. And the Peps trim comes in a 2-pack. It comes with this delicious red, real red ribbon, and it comes with this fun baker's twine. So I'm going to go ahead and snip myself 2 little pieces of that. I love to adhere the baker's twine on the back of the balloons with a Stampin' Dimensional. And oh, I lost my piece for a second. And one of the tricks that I'm going to show you with this is that you always want to keep your dimensional right near the bottom when you're doing this, because otherwise the thread can kind of get away. So I'm going to go here. Now, I know that you're maybe freaking out because you're like, you went outside the outside of your card. But this finished card, the way I've designed it with my sizes, is only 3.5 inches wide. So you actually have quite a bit of, well, to be exact, you have 3/4 of an inch more to play with when you're working on your cards. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up. Now you can't go above the top because that we didn't leave extra space for, but I can go off to the side here. And so then we have our fun box card. So on my sample, oops, I put that balloon behind there. Now we had to move that so that it would actually pop properly. So there we go. Now on my original sample, I did a bow here, so that would certainly work. And I put this balloon up top, which wouldn't allow you to put this in a regular size envelope, but maybe you're putting it in a cute gift bag or you're giving it to a person in person, so that wouldn't matter so much. And in this case, I went ahead and just attached the balloon on the back of the greeting and tied this bow and attached it to the front with a mini glue dot. So lots of fun possibilities and lots of great dogs, and of course also lots of great cats in this designer series paper to use for this card. So I'm really, really loving the cards that move this month, and if you haven't checked out my other videos that feature cards that move for the month of July from the LovenStamps monthly tutorials, you are going to want to do that, because really, what's more fun than a dachshund pop-up card? I don't think there is anything. All right, so happy stamping, and I look forward to sharing more projects with you soon. Thanks for watching.